Okay, us instructors kind of face a dilemma. We have to teach our students, and they have to learn these techniques. And the best way for our students to become better technicians is to do these motions over and over and over until they're very proficient at the technique. So, our job is to teach them and to help them do the motion correctly repetitively. So, the dilemma is we need to come up with ways to give him this repetition, but not in the same way every single time. They may do the technique the same way, but the way we make them do it can vary. And the more we vary, the more we're going to keep them excited. And the more they're going to want to do these techniques. Everyone gets bored. I get bored of, doing a million kicks, but, I got to keep them up if I want to be proficient at them. And especially now that I'm getting old. So, but doesn't mean I have to be bored doing them. So, what I suggest is that you vary the way that you teach in your class. And I don't know about you, but many times I find myself in a rut, teaching the same exact way. Okay, start the class with the warm ups, the same warm ups that we kind of start with every single time. I pick these warm ups because it's a good warm up. It gets the muscles warm. We stretch out in the correct way. But it's the same way every single time. And then I might teach a new technique, and then we might go up and down the floor, or I might go to the bag. Okay, we're going to go to the bag. Let's, work on a new fighting drill. Kind of the same way every single time for weeks, and, most of the time that's a good way to do it. But gets a little boring, and if the students get bored, they're going to, you know, lose their attention span, they're going to come less, a lot of negative things. And even for us, if we teach the same way, we're going to get bored, I mean, I love martial arts. I've been teaching it forever, but it gets boring sometimes. I taught this technique a million times, So changing up on the way you teach can help you, can help your students, and believe it or not, you'll even get more students from it because if your students are having a good time and they're fun and exciting, they're more apt to bring a friend. Or if someone's observing class, they see more fun and excitement in a class. Or trial classes, they see excitement and everyone's in the class having a good time, but learning proper, efficient techniques, you're going to do better. Now, the first thing I do is change the way you do warm ups. So sometimes I do warm ups very first thing, get their muscles warmed up a little bit and then stretch and do some basic calisthenics and such. Or sometimes I go into light technique, then warm them up. So change it up. And you know what? There's different ways to get the muscles warmed up. So if you can't think of any, well, go on on YouTube. I use YouTube all the time to give myself ideas. Go on some exercise programs and see what they do for their warm-ups. Change it up, have a little bit more fun. Another thing I do with warm-ups is I'll have a different person. I'll say, okay, Jim, it's your time to warm up the class. Warm up the class, and say warm-ups are like 10 minutes long or whatever they are. Um, it gives you 10 minutes to think of something or talk to some parents or do some other things, but it's also fun because someone else is doing the warm-ups, and the student who is giving the warm-ups is getting a little bit of leadership experience. So just in the beginning of class you can change it up. So I do that all the time, and so warm-ups are never the same anymore. So And I even make them fun. Sometimes we go into warm-ups longer. We might do 20 minutes, a half hour warm-ups, but I'm working their butts off. So they're come out of warm-up sweating and really fired up. So sometimes I do that just to change up on class. Um, Now, another thing I like to do is stations. I like stations because it'll change it up. So, say you're doing a fighting technique for the beginner class that's going to be you know, a back fist kick or something like that, whatever the technique is. So what I'll do is I'll make 4 stations. I'll make a station just on the floor where they're going to be doing getting a fighting stance, and they're just going to do the motion in the air. The next station might be over here where, you got a bunch of shields and they're doing the technique on the shields. Then there'll be another station of bag work, and then there'll be another station of back and forth with each other. So it's always, I split it up in my 4 groups, 2 groups, 5 groups, whatever, how many stations you want to make. But something different at every station, but they're doing the same technique at the station. So they'll go, all right, go, and you go crazy and get them fired up, and you're running from station to station. Come on, Jim, let's go. Come on, get it going, get it going. Then you run over the bags. Come on, oh, get that bag moving, Sally. Let's go, let's go. Get crazy out there. And then they're getting excited, fire it up. Okay, stop. All right, switch. Next station. Let's go, go, go. That kind of thing. So then they're rotating, rotating, rotating. And then they just did, a half hour of the same technique, but they actually had a little bit of fun. And by me getting crazy and jumping out there, I have so much more fun. They're laughing and having fun, but when I say go, they're out there pushing and hard as they can to do the best they can for me to do those techniques, and we do them 1,000 times, 1,000 times with the same technique, and they're all a-okay with it. They're not bored. They're having fun. I'm having fun, and a lot more gets done. So, in fact, my students have gotten so much better, so much more better since I changed to this type of delivery system. It's all in how you deliver the motions to make it fun for them to want to come back to class. And like I said before, if they're having fun and they're excited, they will get more friends to come in the door. And that's important. You need to grow. You have to grow. If you want to be out here working your, career, or, your hobby and your life's dreams, well, you have to get new students and you have to be exciting. I walk into schools all the time. If I see that there's a new school, even when I'm traveling, I'll go in the door and I'll just sit and watch. Hey, maybe this guy's got something, an idea that I can do. And by doing that, I've seen a lot of cool things of way to set up my school, and I've actually learned different drills and techniques and stuff. And I'll meet the person, but most of the time I go in there and it's the same thing, up and down the floor. 1, 2, okay, hold that punch up, you know, um, make sure those first 2 knuckles are hitting. Fix that stance. Let's go. And it sounds so boring. And that's, he has 5 people in his class, and now I know why. And it's hard to tell the guy, well, hey, you're boring. Well, I'm telling you that you better look at yourself and make sure that you're not boring. Because if you're boring, you probably have less than 30 people in your school, and it's probably because of you, because you're boring. You need to get out there and have fun and exciting, because your goal is to make students better, to make them a better person. And I'm sure there's many other reasons why you're out there being a martial arts teacher, but for whatever reason that you can come up with, you will be better by doing it to more people. So the more people that you do, you'll be fulfilling your goal. Plus, you want to keep your doors open. Man, I don't see so many times that great martial arts practitioner has to close his school because he has 22 students and can barely make enough money to keep the doors open. And you know what? And it's a shame, because if he just changed the way he did a few things, obviously you got to do a little better job at marketing and stuff. And that's why I give you the boring marketing stuff, but it actually works and it'll get you more students. But You can't bring students in the front door and push them out the back door because you're boring. So please change up on the way that you teach class. So you might want to get on YouTube and look up martial arts training drills because just because you see someone do it one way doesn't mean you have to do it that way, but it'll give you an idea. It'll say, hey, yeah, I can't believe I used to do that and I don't do that anymore. I don't know how many times I've done that, thinking that was fun and effective. I used to do it and now I'm not doing it. Why? uh, couldn't tell you. But get out there and make your class more fun and exciting so you can grow and your students will get better. As always, I'm always here for you. You guys have my email, so you can email me. Um, I really appreciate you being martial arts group members, and good luck to your school. And get